Hi, this is Phil Landes, the San Jose MMA Examiner, and this is Vlog 3, so I want to welcome you, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, in my post yesterday, I went over the UFC 99 results and gave my take on them, and I also briefly touched on the Cro Cop situation as well as the Sylvia KO from Saturday night, so I'm going to go into those, as promised, more in depth on today's vlog, so let's jump into it. Cro Cop. Now, for those of you that don't know the background story of Cro Cop came from a promotion called Pride. Pride was a Japanese promotion, started in the late 90s, ran through the mid-2000s, and was seen as probably the biggest competitor to the UFC. And at one point, many considered them to have the better talent roster and to be winning, quote-unquote, the battle between them and the UFC. Obviously, eventually the UFC is still standing. Pride got bought out by the UFC, and nothing was ever done with the brand. It basically died. So that's Mirko Cro Cop came out of Pride, and he was one of their main stars. He's a huge star in Japan. Very, very exciting fighter. Known for his kickboxing skills. He's a K1 kickboxer who had a storied and decorated career in that sport, and then came to MMA. And he holds a record. I believe his record is 26-4, 27-4. It's right in there. And definitely a really great fighter. Came close to winning. He had heavyweight championship shots in Pride against Antonio Nogueira and Fedor. And definitely his fight with Nogueira, he put some hurting on Minotauro, but he lost both fights. Actually had a nickname for a while as the King Without a Crown. So he was brought to the UFC in 2000. Was given a big contract, a lot of hype, and just didn't deliver. He beat Eddie Sanchez, but he didn't dominate him really. Then everybody saw the KO kick heard around the world when Gabriel Gonzaga almost took his head off with a left high kick, which is ironic because that was Cro Cop's, that's the weapon, his finisher, if you will, that he's known for. And then gave a very lackluster performance against Czech Congo at UFC 75. After that event, he decided, him and the UFC decided that it would be best that they parted ways with the idea that he would come back after he got some confidence and healed some injuries and that sort of thing. So in 2008, he fought twice for a promotion called Dream, which was basically the replacement for Pride in Japan. Went 2-0 and then also had a no contest with Alistair Overeem later in 2008 in a fight that most felt that Alistair was winning. So he, a month or so ago, text messages Dana White and says he wants to come back to the UFC, that he's ready. And he talks about respect, and he talks about pride, and not the promotion, but personal pride, and just making things right, and justifying the money that the UFC had spent on him, and showing the fans that he still has what it takes to have one good run in him to get the heavyweight title. So Dana does something unprecedented and agrees to give Cro Cop a one-fight deal, with the idea that they had structured that it was going to end up being a 3-fight deal. They had agreed that that was going to happen, but it didn't. It wasn't actually signed at that point. So Kevin Iole, Yahoo Sports' best journalist in MMA, wrote a piece about this post UFC 99. Basically, Cro Cop reneged on the deal and signed a 3-fight deal with Dream. Now, personally, I'm a fan of Cro Cop, so I really liked him, but I lost pretty much all respect for him after this, because when you say you're going to do something, you tell Dana White, the UFC, the top MMA promotion in the world, yeah, we're going to do a 3-fight deal, all along knowing that you're going to sign with Dream, because there's no way that Dream saw his performance against Mustafa Al-Turk at UFC 99, which he got the win, but same thing as with the Eddie Sanchez fight. It wasn't a really, really dominating win, and an inadvertent eye poke may have had as much to do with the loss as anything else. There's no way Dream saw that and said, okay, here's a 3-fight deal in, the 5 minutes it took after the event to be over, for this deal to basically come through, that it was going to happen. So, Cro Cop knew that he was going to sign this 3-fight deal with Dream. And so, while it may not be illegal technically, it was hugely, hugely unethical. And, what goes around comes around, and you do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And these types of decisions, these types of actions seem to get people, bit. you get hurt from stuff like that. So I'm personally very disappointed in Cro Cop. I don't know how much my opinion means to him personally, but personally I'm very disappointed, and I think it's sad that he's burned that bridge and in the fashion that he did. So enough on that. Sylvia, the next point I'm going to make. or next point I'm going to talk about, Tim Sylvia fought on Saturday night at a show, the Adrenaline MMA show. Now, the event is put on by Monty Cox, which is Tim Sylvia's manager, and originally was scheduled to be I believe it was originally supposed to be an MMA fight between him and former heavyweight boxing champion Ray Mercer, who is now either 47 or 48 years old, depending on who you ask. Mercer won the gold medal in the heavyweight division at the 1988 Olympics. Definitely a legitimate name, but obviously past his prime. And Tim Sylvia has made it clear that he's wanted to get into pro boxing, and Mercer has made it clear he wants to get into MMA. So originally set to be an MMA fight. Again, Mercer does not have any pro MMA bouts. He did lose an exhibition fight to Kevin Ferguson, who most of you would know as Kimbo Slice, by choke a couple years ago, but never any pro MMA fights. And so the commission, where they were going to have the original event, which I believe it was going to be in Atlantic City, refused to sanction the fight because of Mercer's lack of pro experience. So they moved it to Alabama, and then it was supposed to become a boxing match. But the boxing commission stepped in and had a problem with it because Tim Sylvia had no pro boxing experience. So it ends up going back. Actually, it was canceled at one point. Then it was brought back as an MMA fight. Now, there's a picture circulating of Tim Sylvia. You can check it out at SureDog. It's also on Steve Colefield's Cage Writer blog on Yahoo Sports. Sylvia came into the fight at about 310 pounds. Normally, heavyweight, you fight at 265. He probably walked in the cage around 280, 275, somewhere in there. So he's a good 35, 40 pounds overweight. Just doesn't look good. And it's kind of sad, to see him in that state. But he came into the cage, and 9 seconds later, it was over. And you can check out the link in my post from yesterday. But basically, Mercer threw an overhand right and put Tim Sylvia out cold. And I mean, what can you say? It's embarrassing for a guy like Tim Sylvia, former UFC heavyweight champion. He's also lost he was scheduled to fight Paul the Headhunter Buentello at Affliction 3, and that card, he's been pulled from that card according to Tom Atencio from Affliction. So he's already lost, he's already lost some money in that sense. And, I hope Tim can get his head back on his shoulders, screwed on correctly. It definitely was embarrassing for him. It was embarrassing for the sport of MMA. A lot of boxing pundits, I'm sure, are giggling to themselves and, with glee that a former UFC heavyweight champion got knocked out by a former boxing champion in 9 seconds in his MMA debut, no less. So definitely a black eye on the sport, but I hope Tim can turn around. So I want to thank you for joining me for Vlog 3. Look out for Vlog 4 and keep checking my page. And I appreciate you taking the time to check this out. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.